neighborhood organizer at Good Neighborhood Inc. I am also a current student at the University of Michigan, working towards my master's degree in social work. When I got accepted into the University of Michigan, one of the first people I called or texted was Dr. Carl Taylor. And the reason I called and texted him because of the relationship that him and I have developed over the last 10 years. He's been like a father figure, a big brother, guidance in my life. So it was always great to see him and hear his words. And hearing his words it reminds me of the Detroit that I grew up. It's so different than Detroit that he grew up in. When we talk about substance abuse, I really want to challenge you guys to think deeper. Because we just, in the world that we live in the last 20 years, we get so caught up on just phrases and terminologies, and we miss the people who've been impacted by substance abuse. We miss the people who've been impacted by mass incarceration. We miss the people who've truly been impacted by drugs. As Carl talked about in the video that introduced him, folks wasn't born to be drug addicts. Folks wasn't born to go to prison. How did they end up that way? And what's common in both of those scenarios is some form of addiction. Not addiction to a substance per se, but addiction to how to cope with anger, how to cope with abandonment, how to cope with being abused. You know, see, I grew up where in this new social phenomenon of single parents or young parents giving birth to children. And that has always been existing in our communities, particularly the Black community. But prior to me coming to this world, there was substance in my neighborhoods. There was substance in our families that wrapped their arms around that young mother, that young father, where they wasn't there by themselves. Unfortunately, you fast forwarded, when I came to the world, those things had began to unravel. And as they began to unravel, my life had already been kind of mapped out. And I remember my mother sharing with me that my grandmother wanted to name me Hope. Hope like, yeah, I don't turn out like my dad. So that was the prophecy. And I ended up turning out just like my dad. But to turn out like my daddy, you have to understand the story. My daddy was addicted to the streets. How did he become addicted to the streets? How did he become what I term a streetaholic? We live in a world where your manhood is based upon material worth, material gains. You know, the greater car you have, the greater you are in the society. The sweetest clothes that you have, the sweetness that you look like to other people. And if you can't get the job working at Ford at that time or Chrysler, in the streets and say you don't hustle, you don't eat. That's the street language. That is the language of America. Unfortunately, everyone didn't have the opportunity to go to Harvard, to go to Howard, or the access to create wealth. So you do it the best way you can. Like many of us don't understand that drug dealers are capitalists. That's what they are. They're that in the rawest and realest form. If you really want to understand capitalism, look at drug dealers. It's the same scenario. But the destruction is great in the sense that we see the impact, right? But we make justification in terms of businesses. You know, when a business buys out another business, we say that's business. When a drug dealer goes into that corner and say, you gotta move, we call that violence. But they're the same situation. Because when that business gets bought out, what happens to those folks who can no longer work there, who are out of jobs? The impact that it has. That when you come home, the babies that you was taking care of, you're no longer looked at as the responsible one. A month go by, 2 months go by, 6 months go by, a year go by, and I ain't got no damn job. What is the impact that it has on my humanity, on my soul, on my mind? I began to deteriorate over periods of time. So drugs, alcohol becomes a coping mechanism. How do these things become so accessible? How do they become so accessible in our communities? Excuse me. One second, I'm sorry. And they become so accessible in the sense of it redirects how we operate and function in our community. When my father finds himself trying to take care of his son, or wanted to take care of his son, that he has to leave the household. So he abandons me, he abandons my mother. So my mother now is left to raise a boy in the urban jungle of America. I grew up angry, I grew up frustrated. Because I'm watching my mother get her ass kicked socially, mentally, and physically. You know, prior to going to college, and now you have in college gender studies, right? It's the thing. And it should be a thing. But I had a front row seat to gender studies watching my mama get her ass beat. But I didn't understand it. So my mama began to cope through these social problems and these physical problems by drinking. Cup here, cup there. And so raising this boy who was causing all type of hell and trying to prevent me to be just like my daddy, when she would discipline me, it would be after she had been drinking. And those whippings evolved from being whoopings to being beatings. So all the beatings that she had got physically and socially poured into me. So as I began to get beaten, and I'm absorbing this, what do you think I did? I needed to release it. I became a walking time bomb in my community. And fighting had became my addiction to how to address my anger, my hurt, my frustration of being locked out of a society that never gave me an opportunity. It was only until I claimed myself as a Zone 8 thug that I became recognizable. Other words than that, I was what Ralph Ellison said, invisible. And so many others in my neighborhood, so many others in my community was just as visible. But it's only until we do some form of violent act. But let's unpack that. You see, neglect produces what? More neglect. See, we talk about the physical violence, but we never explore the social violence, the educational violence, the cultural violence, the political violence, the economical violence that's producing violent human beings. I agree with Carl said earlier, but gangs are not bad. What made us bad was because we're living in bad environments. I mean, and it's funny that some of us, we still have the debate, how could you be a product of your environment? That is an excuse. We're all damn products of our environment in some form or some fashion. But it's only when a black child, a black mother, a black father begins to hold up the mirror and say, this is what I grew up in. This is why I'm an alcoholic. This is why I'm a drug dealer. That we don't want to face that responsibility because we have failed them. We have allowed this situation to continue to perpetuate itself, that created a cycle of genocide on our watch. And we don't want to be held accountable. Trust and believe if I grew up in Southfield, if I grew up in Royal Oak, Ferndale, Berkeley, there's a high probability it may have been different for me. You see, the violence that happened in my household was a result of anger, of frustration, of self-hatred. And these are recipes to find drugs, to find alcohol, to find guns. And it's much deeper and bigger than what we think it is. So we're talking about a generation that we lost in cemeteries and penitentiaries. You know, and the funny thing is, like, I went to prison for a crime I didn't do. And when I tell the story, and it just amazes me that we live in a country where we can pay close to $35,000, $40,000 to incarcerate somebody every year. But we cannot invest that same money to keep that person from not going to prison.